Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Before we get started in today's video, don't forget to join our free Facebook community, get real answers to real credit questions, learn from some of the experts in our industry, as well as from other people that are in similar situations that are taking advantage of the free content, improving their credit and making their credit situation better. Hope to see you guys on the inside.
Welcome back to the Credit Agents Talk Show. I'm Leslie. Today we're going to be talking about Biden's plan to reduce the credit bureaus. Let's get into it. There's been some talk in my industry about this, and I have been doing some reading. Fact check, this is mostly false for now. The Biden administration has been talking about it, and today I would like to discuss what they actually are wanting to do. But first, let's debunk the myth that they plan to get rid of all of the credit bureaus. So what does the Biden administration want to do? They want to create a government-controlled bureau. Now, that doesn't mean they necessarily want to get rid of TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, but keep in mind, those are not government entities. So they plan on making their own. They are for-profit companies, which means they won't go away without a fight. But what does this new bureau that Biden wants to create actually do? So they plan on accepting alternative data to this new bureau. The truth is, this isn't really a new thing. Experian already exercises this when they use Experian Boost. So there's really no incentive for a lender to use Biden's new bureau. There are already many other credit reporting agencies that use alternative data that include ChexSystems and LexisNexis. Still, it's a lender's decision on what scoring model they would like to use. However, most prefer the classic version of FICO. So what they're trying to do is create algorithms that are non-discriminatory. We're not too sure exactly what this looks like because there are already laws that stop lenders from being discriminatory based on people's sex, age, political views, religious beliefs, and things like that. So only time will tell with this. So basically, the new bureau will not be landlord friendly. They plan to ban landlords from using credit scores. So let's flip the script. Imagine that you are a homeowner that wants to rent out your house to a potential candidate. Now imagine not being able to check the credit score before they actually move into the home. Doesn't really sound like a good idea to me. Now, if this were to happen, you can count on very few people actually renting out their home, or they would probably require a huge initial deposit. In conclusion, I don't see a whole lot of lenders and landlords planning on using the new bureau if it's created. Now, if it is created, it'll probably be years from now, and remember, it won't affect the other three bureaus. A new bill that will possibly help get paid collection accounts removed from your credit report. Representative Patrick McKinney out of North Carolina has reintroduced this bill. It's a common sense reform bill to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Certain paid collections could possibly be removed. So basically, if you lost your job and medical bills went into collections, but then you got a new job, settled the debt, your credit score shouldn't have to suffer. This helps the victims of predatory lenders. Now, this is determined through a court or through a settlement agreement. Negative information should be deleted. Now, if you went to court, won, and the account is still on the credit report, then it should be deleted. So what is the status of this bill? This was just introduced to the House, so there's no action as of yet.
Hey guys, it's Michael with the Credit Agent Show, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about when do credit card companies report to the credit bureaus? Because let's face it, your credit score is always changing, whether it's a daily change, a weekly change, or even sometimes a monthly change. So let's dive on into that. All right, so getting back to the question at hand, when exactly do credit card companies report to the credit bureaus? Well, I'll give you a little hint. It's not exactly on the due date. It's actually a few days after your statement date that is due. And this means anything that's reported on your statement date, such as accounts owned, balances, things like that, those are going to be reported on your credit report. But how do you know when your statement closes? Well, let's find out. So first, you're going to open up your credit card app or online portal, then look for a section called Statements. Next, open up a recent statement and look at the statement cycle dates. Generally, it'll show something like March 9th through April 8th. That final date, being April 8th in this example, is the date the statement closes. And here's a little tip. Open up a few more statements so you can look at the other month's final dates so you get an idea of what date each month your statement closes. So this is the date that you want to make sure all of your accounts are paid down to, because this is when things are going to get reported. So does the credit card report the same day? No. Remember, it'll report a couple days after the statement closes. And here's a little look behind the scenes. First, you're going to actually report the data to the credit department. Then it's going to get filed into a system called eOscar. So next, each credit reporting agency is going to get notified of this new data, and then they're going to finally send a representative to gather this data and update your credit report. And this process overall takes about 3 to 5 days. So in summary, your credit card will only report once a month, and you want to make sure that your accounts are paid by that date. And a little credit hack is to pay them down to 1%. This will maximize the credit score benefit you'll get from paying these off.
Oftentimes, clients freak out because they will go car shopping and then a day or two later check their credit and realize, oh my gosh, they ran my credit 13, 14, or 15 times, and they worry that this will actually ruin their credit. Well, thankfully, FICO and Vantage Scoring have deduplication in place to protect clients. So imagine this situation. Imagine that you go to a car dealership because you want to lease a new vehicle, and the representative there says, hey, this is going to take a lot of time, a few days, and so you decide to go home. Fast forward to a couple days later, you decide to check your credit, and you find out they checked your credit 11 times. So then you go into panic mode because you've heard that that could potentially ruin your credit. So let's talk about it. Does it really hurt your credit? Deduplication logic. Luckily, credit bureaus have a way to counteract multiple credit checks, and this gives you an advantage because it lets you shop around. So what does deduplication logic mean? Deduplication logic allows multiple credit inquiries that are part of the same industry count as just one credit check. Deduplication laws only apply when shopping for a home loan, a vehicle loan, or student loans. So keep that in mind when applying for these things. So how long does deduplication last? Both FICO and Vantage have different time spans. Vantage uses a 14-day window, so that means that all of the inquiries for the auto loan within the 14 days will count as just one hard inquiry. FICO has a 45-day window, except for version 2.0. Now, this version is used by Experian in your mortgage application, and that one has a 14-day window. I know this is a lot to take in, so let's use it in a form of an example. Let's say my client John is shopping for a house, so he goes to lender A to get pre-approved. But let's say John doesn't particularly care for the interest rate that they give him. So John will go and talk to his realtor, who recommends another lender, so let's say lender B, and 3 days later decides to apply with this mortgage lender. Those two hard inquiries are going to be scored as just one inquiry because number one, they are both mortgage related, and number two, they are both 45 days within each other. So as you can see, my client used the deduplication logic to do what's best for him, to shop around to ensure that he gets the very best interest rate for his house. So in summary, deduplication has these huge benefits that all consumers should know. This is Leslie, and thank you for tuning in for the Credit Agents Talk Show.